Luxury and extravagance are not just for the movies, but a reality for many wealthy individuals. From private jets to personal butlers, the rich and famous have access to a whole world of exclusive services that the average person can only dream of. In this video, we take a look at 15 of the most luxurious services that only the rich and famous can enjoy. Welcome to Luxio, the place where we motivate and inspire future billionaires like you. Number 1. Private airstrips and exclusive locations. For the wealthy, time is the most precious commodity. That's why private jets are a thing. They can get where they need to go without dealing with the hassle of commercial travel. There are private airstrips available just for them to cut down on travel time. The second most valuable thing to them is privacy. They want to spend time with their family or think about life without being disturbed. That's why there are exclusive resorts that only allow guests by invitation and have a minimum net worth requirement. Some of these places include Ladera Resort in the Caribbean and Luxio in Fiji. The rich also buy their own private or villas with helicopter access only to have a secluded and private escape. Number 2. Private property insurance. If you're wealthy, you get access to some extra perks that regular insurance doesn't cover, like professional negotiators and SWAT teams in case you get kidnapped. And if anything goes wrong, like your priceless items getting stolen, or a natural disaster hitting the area where you live, or where your private collection is stored, the insurance company will send in helicopters with trained personnel to evacuate your valuables. Number 3. Elite nannies. The nanny market for the wealthy is super competitive. Billionaires are fighting over certain nannies because once they find the right one, it's a long-term commitment. The hiring process is usually exclusive, with referrals being the key factor. These nannies aren't just babysitters. They're professional coaches who can speak multiple languages, provide emotional support, and help the child grow in the direction set by the parents. These top-notch nannies earn over $100,000 a year, live in mansions and luxury cars, and don't have to worry about paying for rent or food. If you don't speak Mandarin or have a degree from a prestigious university, you might not even get considered for the job. While it might seem like a dream job, keep in mind that the wealthy are paying someone with impressive skills to dedicate their time and best years to their children's success. Number 4. Elite memberships. Why are country clubs and private groups such a big deal for the wealthy? At its core, it's a way for the rich to network in private. Sure, there are perks like tennis courts, spas, and cigars, but that's not the main reason people join. When you're wealthy, it can be hard to make friends because people often can't relate to your experiences, and everyone seems to be after something. That's where country clubs come in. They provide a space for like-minded individuals to come together and make connections. It's kind of like how your average Joe might hang out with buddies at a local bar. Except at a country club, you're meeting potential business partners instead. In fact, many billionaires have struck bigger deals on the golf course than in a boardroom. That's why the rich are so obsessed with golf. It's a way to spend time outdoors, socialize with people who are there for the same reasons, and maybe even make some extra money in the process. Number 5. Personal item tracker. If you thought rich people are all about lawyers, well, they have more tricks up their sleeves. They've got private trackers who help them get their hands on rare art, collectibles, and whatnot. These one-of-a-kind items don't usually show up on eBay, so it's hard to get your hands on them. But these trackers travel the world, network with fancy folks, and act as private buyers to help their clients get what they want. Take the Saudi Arabian royal family, for example. They've been on a shopping spree, buying up luxury art with their newfound wealth. One of the most private purchases, Salvator Mundi by Leonardo da Vinci, which sold for a whopping $450 million, making it the most expensive painting ever sold. The purchase was anonymous, but later it was revealed that the agent was working for the Saudi family. Fun fact, The painting has since been out of the public eye, despite initial plans to display it in one of their museums. This has led to rumors that it might be missing or stolen, and the art community is keeping a close eye on the situation. Some say it might be hanging in the royal palace. Number 6. Personal chefs. The rich have always been associated with outsourcing services to free up their time. But here's the thing, they don't just sit back and let others do the work for them. They use that extra time for something more valuable, and that's where meal preparation comes in. Sure, you can order takeout with the click of a button, but for the wealthy, there's a better option. By hiring a chef, they get to enjoy a delicious meal without having to worry about shopping, cooking, or timing everything just right. The rich value their time, and they'll spend money to get it back. But keep in mind, they don't just lounge around. They use the time wisely. Number 7. Personal trainers and doctors. If you're rich, all you want is to live life to the fullest and stay healthy. That's why the wealthy take their health seriously. They've got personal trainers, nutritionists, and private chefs making sure they're eating right. But if something does happen, like a heart attack or a stroke, they don't mess around. They've got private medical services on standby 24/7. With the press of a button, a helicopter comes flying with all the equipment needed to stabilize them. And if they need an organ transplant, these private services can even arrange that for them within 48 hours. No waiting line, just the best of the best. Some private medical companies even have offices and labs waiting on top of skyscrapers in cities like New York or London, just in case they need to be airlifted. And if you're really high profile, like a president or diplomat, you can even get an armored car with a fridge full of your blood, just in case of an emergency. Number 8. Net worth dating. Dating can be a real struggle for wealthy people since they're busy running their companies and don't have time for the regular dating scene. They often rely on their PAs to set up meetings or dates with someone they're interested in, which is like high school all over again, but with more money involved. It's harder for high net worth women to find someone to date since they want someone on their level, but with age, wealth, and social status, the dating pool gets smaller and smaller. To solve this problem, dating agencies host events for wealthy people to mingle and potentially find love. It may sound cheesy, but it works for some people. Charity galas and balls are also opportunities for the wealthy to network and potentially find someone to date. That's why they always show up. Number 9. PR team. When it comes to the rich and famous, almost everything you read about them is carefully crafted to present a certain image to the world. They make sure the media only reports on their best moments and tries to hide any blemishes. But as we've seen, things don't always go as planned. Even Beyonce and Kanye West, with all their money, couldn't completely erase certain photos from the internet. The average billionaire doesn't get much media attention, so it's easier for them to control their online image. That's where companies that erase your internet footprint come in. It's possible that this will be a booming industry in the future, as more and more people want to protect their privacy. Number 10. Assistants. The two most popular types of assistants are executive assistants or EAs and personal assistants or PAs. An EA acts as a buffer for all the projects and tasks in the life of a rich person, keeping everyone in check and filtering out important information. On the other hand, a PA makes sure schedules are met and keeps track of the person's day-to-day activities. PAs usually have more responsibilities and access to personal information. These two roles work together to keep things running smoothly for the wealthy. Number 11. Private wealth managers. You know how you're always on the lookout for ways to invest and make some extra cash? Well, the rich have a whole team of people doing that for them. They scour the market for the best investment opportunities and make calculated moves to keep growing their wealth. Most rich folks just use index funds like Vanguard to invest their money, which might be the best option for you too. But there are some investors who consistently beat the market, adding that extra bit of return at the end of the year. You might have heard of investment firms like Bridgewater, Sigma Renaissance, or Millennium. But those are typically not open to the public and require a minimum buy-in of hundreds of millions of dollars. But there's an even higher level of wealth management services for the super rich. These funds have special divisions that cater to the individual's specific needs, not just making more money, but actively changing the financial landscape to align with the investor's vision. Number 12. Offshore bank account and several passports. Rich folks often have multiple passports to travel to places that might be off limits with just one. It's all about doing business wherever they want, and to protect their money, they use offshore banks in places like Panama, Seychelles, Cyprus, Malta, and the British Virgin Islands, among others. Hong Kong is a hotspot for businesses in Asia because of its low taxes and huge market. The wealthy use these financial tools to keep their wealth safe and have a backup plan. Companies like Apple, Google, and Facebook keep their taxes low by paying most of them in countries with lower tax rates like Ireland. And if you have enough cash, you can even buy a whole new identity, complete with a new name and birth certificate, in a place like Belize. Number 13. Private life coaches. When you have a ton of money, it's important to have your priorities in check. That's why a lot of wealthy people keep a life coach or a therapist on hand. This can be someone to help with anxiety or past issues, or it could be a spiritual guide to help figure out the big questions in life. Some tech CEOs even have spiritual advisors to the point where it's becoming a joke in TV shows. And when you need some extra support during a big negotiation or performance, you might hire a coach like Tony Robbins. His one-day fee is around $1 million, but you can find coaches for a lower fee too. Meditation coaches are also popular, with prices ranging from $150 per session to thousands per week, depending on how much you're willing to spend. Number 14. Private security. Unless you're seriously loaded, you probably never heard of companies like Centagon Inter Armored or Armored Max. These businesses specialize in making armored commercial vehicles, a market that's been on the rise in recent years. More and more wealthy folks are buying bulletproof cars, not just to avoid getting shot, but to up their odds of surviving any type of situation. For the less high-profile wealthy, they might hire a private security company like G4S or CACI. But the big dogs opt for top-notch security from firms like Brinks or DynCorp. These are essentially military or intelligence agents for hire, depending on their client's needs. Not every rich person needs a bodyguard, but it's a well-kept secret among the truly wealthy. The luxury for these folks is that they can afford added protection when they travel and have a team with them if they find themselves in a higher risk situation. Basically, they can increase their chances of coming back safely. Number 15. Cybersecurity. Cyber and home security have become major concerns for the general public in recent years. But the rich have been paying top dollar for this kind of protection for decades. It's simple. The more money you have, the bigger a target you are for people who want a piece of it. From your email, calendar, and cloud accounts to smart locks, doorbells, and cameras, the rich make sure everything is secure, especially online. This is why they use private servers and close internal networks for business and private networks while traveling. Thankfully, these types of services have become more accessible to the average person. While you may not be able to afford satellite phones in the same level of security as the rich, you can at least get yourself a virtual private network or a VPN to hide your online activity from prying eyes. And that's it for today. We hope you learned a lot from this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hit that notification bell so you're always updated with our latest videos. See you later!